Believe it or not, we are now joined by cast members Dipuo, Maloi and Tsholo Makgalemele-Mbane in studio. Ladies, really good to have you on the show. Thanks for making time.
Thank you for having us.
Now, we picked up in that trailer and I remember thinking to myself, you saying, I enjoyed every football, I think you said, that you dated. How many were there?
Just 2.
And these are your baby daddies, as they say, and you talk a lot about them on the show. So let's talk about your experience.
Okay, my name is Dipuo Maloi, born and bred in Soweto in Netherlands. I have 2 handsome boys. Their dads are Andile Jolly and Lanchin Palani, who are currently playing for the same PSL soccer team, which is Moraka Swallows. And yeah, my life has been very colorful.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a lot of color. So you've got your former 2 men who play on the same football team.
That is correct, yes.
Do they get along?
I believe so. I would love to believe so. I haven't had any rumors of anything happening behind the scenes. Nothing that I know of out of the ordinary. So I do believe they do get along.
So when you married your wife, there were reservations from your family that you talk about. Let's talk about these reservations before we move to certainly the progress that they eventually made.
Back in 2019, we just up and decided that we wanted to get married. I have always been in a same-sex relationship, and my mother has always had trouble accepting my sexuality. So when I met Bambanani, it was that love at first sight kind of thing, and we wanted what we wanted at the time. We didn't care much about who does what or who has a say. So we decided to up and just go and elope and get married at Home Affairs. So that has always been a problem that was unspoken about between me and my mom. You know, there's always that you just went and got married, but there was no conversation about it, nothing. I think she accepted along the way. Yeah.
So when you talk about your family, is it just your mom? Is it extended family? I'd imagine also, I mean, as black people, we talk also about a community. There are people around you that you've grown up with.
The whole family includes my grandmothers, my aunties, even the neighbors. They'll give you like, oh, when you're walking past, maybe I think that also was what causes my mom to be like so to herself about it, because like everywhere she has to now start explaining, and she's explaining something that she doesn't even know or something that she hasn't even accepted, you know. So I think that was the biggest problem. I believe I needed to fix it with my mom so that the rest of the family can adjust, because at times they can't come to me and ask me questions, but when they ask her and she doesn't have answers, it makes it difficult for her to have a relationship with me.
Even frustrating, isn't it?
Yep. And it's very frustrating.
Dipuo, you talked about the many misconceptions that exist in Mzansi about you, and that one of the reasons that you accepted this role was because you wanted to clear those misconceptions.
That is correct. I've been, for many years in the past, I've been talked about, written about in newspapers, on social media, and I've always decided not to respond back. Even when journalists would call me, I'd always just say no comment. So this time around, I thought to myself, let me get out there, let people know the real story. Let me be authentic about it. I'm the author of my life. I lived my life. I know the truth. So let me tell it the best way how, and it is through the show.
And what is that story?
The story includes how many soccer players I've dated, why did I date them, who do I have kids with, do I get along with my baby daddies. I mean, there was a big story about Andile Charlie saying he's not the father of my child, which was on the front paper of a certain national newspaper.
And that story came out at the time that he was actually coming to pay damages, correct?
Exactly, it was the very same day. So that is why I didn't even respond to anyone, because that very same day when the newspaper came out in the morning, his family was at home paying damages for their child.
Now, Tsholo, you represent a minority group, the LGBTQI plus community. You also a stay-at-home wife. Just how much is on your shoulders in putting across the feelings, thoughts, and representation of the queer community?
It is It's quite tricky because you have to win the hearts of not only the young ones that are coming after you. You also need to win the hearts of the older generations. You know, they need to start now seeing life in a different perspective. For them, it's always been, you need to be married to a man. This is how they grew up. It was taboo seeing a same-sex relationship. Even seeing it be successful or going out in public, and it's normal. So you need to win the hearts of those ones so that they can now understand how their children are. They can now start supporting their children, you know. So it comes with a lot of pressure, especially if you find yourself, I'm a stay-at-home wife, yes, but it's not by choice. You know, I used to be someone that was working. I worked at the airport, and unfortunately, when the COVID hit, and then I was one of the people that was cut off, you know. But I can't be sitting here and saying I don't have a job. It's not because I want or I don't want it to be that way, but it's more of, if my job is out there, let it find me in a happy space. I just choose to be happy as a stay-at-home mom not because I don't want to work. I do want to work, but I cannot be miserable about it.
The interrogation of sports wives resumes in a moment. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We continue our conversation with cast members Dipuo and Tsholo from Sports Wives, and we've also got Bomzi September, who's joining us via our video link. Bomzi, thanks so much for speaking to us. Got two of your favorite women in the studio. Just let's talk about the chemistry or lack thereof with Tsholo and Dipuo.
There's chemistry, right? Tsholo and I are actually good friends. Dipuo and I didn't actually get a chance to really form a solid friendship. But there's chemistry. I think there's chemistry all around.
Cool. So let's talk about your decision to participate in this show and share your marriage with the rest of South Africa and the world.
You know, it was a very important step that I thought that we had to take, because we are always assumed to be trophy wives when we are married to sports people or dating sports people. We assume that we're just pretty faces and there's nothing to us. So I think this platform was the best place to show that there's a lot more to us than just our pretty faces.
Dipuo, one of the reasons that you say you took on this challenge was because there's something called Yummy Mummy, which is your brand that you have launched, I think, some time ago, and part of this was for you to be able to push that brand. So let's talk about your role in this show and your role as a mother and as a businesswoman.
Okay, first of all, yes, I am a proud founder and owner solely of a local clothing brand called Yummy Mummy. I kickstarted it in 2019. Firstly, it was a side hustle. And then obviously myself as well, I was employed by Botswana at the airport. COVID hit, I lost my job. That gave me an opportunity to fully focus on the business. So yes, one of the other reason I'm on the show is to get my brand out there, to be known, and to get people familiar with the brand. In most episodes, I actually do wear the brand. I do gift the ladies some of what I have as part of my brand. My kids are part of the show. I think they're on 2 or 3 episodes. You'll get to see them. It's Lisedi and Khanya. They're 12 and 6 years old. They are an irreplaceable blessing from God. And I love them so much.
So the show talks about authenticity and being relatable, right? Now, you talked about your job in the airport. So you're not an actress. Are you acting? Is this you? How much of you do we see in the show?
I feel I gave my all. I had no reason to act. I was just being as authentic as I could be from the very first day. I have no reason to act.
So did you ever have to deal with the characters or individuals that you didn't like and not shy away from, I actually don't like you?
I found myself not completing the show because of certain certain things that unfolded, you know. You're dealing with characters that feel like they want something that you can't give. I cannot, like I've always said to the ladies, I can't give you what I don't have. I don't have drama. I'm not a dramatic person, and I can't give you that. So the more you press and press and press, I feel like these are spaces that I wouldn't be under normal circumstances. So this is how I took my bow, and I was like, I'm not going to be doing this.
Bomzi, September, if you're still there, let's talk about some of the challenges that you may have faced in your marriage, as we all do, and if this comes out in the show, and if it's the easiest thing to do to talk about the downside of marriage to people that were strangers to you, almost just moments before the show started.
Honestly, I'd be lying if I said there was like a huge challenge in my marriage specifically. But look, my previous marriage was raised in the first episode, and I think I was okay with it because I spoke out about it a long time ago, even before I met my current husband. So when it came out, I was just like, oh, it's nothing new in my circle and for all the important people that know me. But you know what? I think at times people walk away, but they always say it's how you handle something that's said that's important and not what is said exactly.
So very quickly, what's that one thing that we can look out for when we're watching Bomzi September in this show?
I think the one thing that we can all look out for is how enemies will become friends and friends will become enemies.
Okay,
I like that. Dipuo, who are your enemies?
I wouldn't know. I don't. Within the cast members, I don't have an enemy within the cast members. I believe we're all good. We're all in good terms. We're not friends. However, I don't have an enemy as one of the casts, no.
So, if you were to promote yourself in the next 30 seconds as a means to get members of the queer community to watch this show, take solace in the fact that one of our own is standing up and addressing our issues, what would that message be?
I would say patience is virtue. If you get to come with me to this journey, you will realize that you are not everyone's cup of tea, and that is okay. You can still be whatever it is that you want to be, just by being yourself. You don't have to filter or change yourself for anything. And this is the perfect show to watch because you have a way of seeing how we can laugh with each other and yet speak about each other behind each other's backs. So at the end of the day, it's just all about you and how you portray yourself.
Tsholo fellow Makgalemele-Mbane and Dipuo Maloi. Bomzi September joining us via our video link. Ladies, thank you so much for being a part of today's show.